everybody, it's Tanner with Western Motor, and for this week's Around the Block, we have Brittney Knoll, who is the director of Emmaus House.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course, I'm excited to do this.
Very cool. So what we have is a 2019 GMC Acadia for us to ride in. So let's go do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's an exciting and busy time for Emmaus House. The holiday season always is from Thanksgiving straight through the holiday season. It's a busy time.
Yes.
Tell us about how things are going right now at the shelter.
So we're a homeless shelter, food pantry, and a soup kitchen. We provide food boxes twice a week. We do a big holiday box for Thanksgiving. We like to make a specific list to kind of hand out, make sure everybody gets all the fixins for their holiday meal.
Right.
And like you said, we did that last week, and then this week we had match day, which is a huge event, and now we're just a couple short weeks away from our Christmas boxes, and that's all in the food pantry and just different things going on. And it's a little colder outside, so the shelter's a little fuller than normal, and so we're also feeding more people in the soup kitchen as well. So everything gets a little busier right around now.
How did the Thanksgiving distribution go? How many people, how many families were you able to help?
I think we handed out a little over 200 boxes.
That's awesome.
On Tuesday. So it was a busy day, but it was so much fun. We had a lot of volunteers come in, and we always have a blast with everybody who comes, and it's just a lot of joy, a lot of giving spirit. Kind of reminds you of why you do this, you know.
Well, and that's what the season is, right?
Yeah,
it's the giving season. Yes, yes.
Now, Brittney, you talked about how the Emmaus House plays a lot of different roles.
Yes.
It means, I think, throughout the community, different things to different people. But you mentioned
Absolutely.
3 specific things with the soup kitchen, the shelter. Tell us why that's such an important role to play in the community.
So we really are kind of 3 different entities. In our food pantry, we provide food boxes every Wednesday and Friday every week to families who have shelter, who can store the food, and who can cook the food. The soup kitchen provides its services to those who don't necessarily have the space to store stuff or don't have the means to cook it. They can come in, they can get a hot meal, so we're really just trying to make sure that anybody and everybody who needs fed is getting fed. And then in the shelter, we have a lot of different individuals, different situations, whether they're kind of homeless by choice or they're traveling or, their house kind of burned down or medical issues, they couldn't pay their rent. Sometimes there's people who have never had an issue providing food for their family, and all of a sudden times got a little hard. So really nobody is too good to receive our assistance, and when you do have the extra money, that's why it's so important to donate back to your community, because you never know when you're going to be standing in those shoes and needing to receive those services.
Sometimes life is hard.
Absolutely. More often than not, I feel.
Yeah.
And it really sounds like it's more of a mission.
Absolutely. It is our mission to serve anybody and everybody that we can.
Now, your relationship with Emmaus House goes way back.
Yeah.
I understand, clear back to when you were a little girl.
Yes.
Tell us how it began, when it began, how it began, and how it's evolved to the point now where you're the director.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, in 1997, 1998, my parents actually moved across the street from Emmaus House.
Okay.
There weren't a lot of kids in the neighborhood, but there was always a lot of traffic there. And so I would go over there and kind of just being the curious kid I was, see what was going on. And the cook in the kitchen, Lorraine Houston, rest in peace, she let me come in and help cook and really just kind of see the environment that was being provided. At the time, my mom had a job that provided, but she not necessarily truly felt passionate about. And I had kind of, through the grapevine of being the little kid and everybody talking around me, heard that they were looking for a director's position.
So what was it? I mean, because rarely do you ever see a situation where somebody's 8 years old and they're like, I want to do this. What was it about? What was it about the organization that just had you hooked?
You know, the love. It really, there's so much heart and, you know, just the giving, and you never saw somebody upset. You know, you really, everybody was there for a purpose. I felt like I was there for my purpose, even as a little girl, just helping cook. It gave me a lot of joy. Being a part of it for so many years, and my parents, they were still very well at sheltering me from a lot of it. So taking on the position, I learned so much more. Like, I had always kind of known life, but I really learned what it took to, you know, be a part of it and to make a difference and to be the person that's gonna say the things and stand up for certain individuals or stand up for our organization itself. You know, it was always near and dear. And my daughter is 8 years old and is like, I'm gonna be the next director. So it's kind of the world goes round. You know, you could say it's in our blood.
Obviously, this is not like a 9-to-5 job,
No.
right? Like it's a
all the
lifestyle.
time.
You
Yes.
always are working. Well, what do you enjoy doing when you're not at Emmaus House?
So I was a stay-at-home mom for quite a few years, and in being a stay-at-home mom, I also got to take care of a lot of our friends and family's children. I've always been very passionate about kids. I've always just kind of had that safe space for children to come to and feel safe. So when I stepped into my role at Emmaus House, I did feel like maybe there was a little something kind of missing, you know, that I needed to do. And I actually became a CASA advocate. It's a court-appointed special advocate. I am the voice of the child in the courtroom. So I've gotten to really kind of fill that space that just was a little empty. In doing that, I'm also a wrestling mom. It takes up
Wrestling
most
mom.
of my life.
I can only imagine.
It's very
That's intense.
Let's hear more about this.
Yeah, so my son loves wrestling. He is not, so he's like the kind of gamer, really technological kid who doesn't get into sports. He doesn't want to go to the park really, and he's just kind of always been that way. But we tried wrestling one year and it just stuck, and he absolutely loves it. So, you know, every weekend we're traveling to different cities and going to different tournaments, and it's an entire lifestyle, and it's a lot of fun. You know, you go to the tournament and I'm the mom who sneaks onto the mat and is screaming from this sideline at him. I feel like he doesn't hear anybody's voice but me, you know. So I'm hoping
The coach might not like that.
I think he understands. But I am going to try this year to stay a little further back, and he's getting older where he really does need to listen to his coach and not his mom. So, but it's so much fun, you know. It's something good for him. And then my daughter, she loves, you know, basketball and volleyball and all that stuff, which it's 5 minutes from my house. So it's not as much as a commitment as wrestling, but you know, she's just as passionate about her sports. And so it's a lot of fun, but they definitely keep me very busy.
We understand that you like Harry Potter. You're a
I
big
love
Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter.
fan. Okay, well,
Nothing wrong with that.
kindred spirits here in the car.
That's
so,
right. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so 2 questions then. Your favorite book or movie in the
Okay.
series. That's the first one. And then your favorite character.
You know, I'd have to, for both reasons, Snape and Half-Blood Prince. I just love the storyline. Like, I can remember being in the theater and, like, Dumbledore dying and Snape killing him and everybody hating him so much. And so the storyline behind that, whereas at the very end you find out, like, no, he's been on your side the whole time.
Exactly.
I mean, for an actor to portray that for so many years, it's just wonderful, you know. So
But did you like him the whole time?
no, I hate him, but that's
the
why
point.
he's my
That's the
favorite.
point.
Yeah.
It's the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, I love you so much, you know?
It is really interesting that, I mean, you're so poised when you're here talking to us, right? Like, you know what you're doing, but evidently you've got a fear of public
do.
speaking. What's that about?
It's a little easier. There's just 3 of us here. I tend to get up on stage and almost like black out and not remember what I said. Like, I've been told I do very well, but
I'm sure.
I get the anxiety and all this other stuff. I'm getting a little better at it over the years, but oh man, yeah, pure anxiety, and you know, I just like my palms start sweating, my heart is racing. I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words, and there's been a lot of situations that I've been just like pulled up to the stage. Oh, hey, talk about it. And I am very passionate about Emmaus House. I'm very passionate about Emmaus House, so it's easy for me to talk about it.
Right.
You know, but sometimes it's just like I don't like the whole aspect of hundreds of people in front of me.
Do you have to do it very often?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so okay, so
Sure.
so maybe you're just a little better at it than you give yourself credit for.
I do think that I started having friends like videotape me, because I'm not kidding when I say I don't remember what I said. It's like I literally black out, like, what did I say when I was up there, you know? And
Did it all
so
make sense?
I'll watch it afterwards and be like, oh, you were actually pretty good, you know? Like,
Right, and like, that's the beauty of speaking in public, right? They don't know what you're about to say.
Right.
Like, only you know
Yeah.
if you messed up or something.
That's true.
That's a big secret.
yeah. Like my mom, she can, no problem, but she's been doing it for over 20 years, you know? And she's actually been where they've called her up to Wichita and be on like the news and different
Sure.
things, and I'm like, I don't even know how I would react to that.
Well, I've seen you a few times on the news too,
Yeah.
so I know that you can do it.
Yeah.
And you're proving it right now because you're doing fantastic, and it sounds like maybe with a little more experience over time, you're going
Right.
to get even better at
Right.
it. So-
But like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just passionate about Emmaus House and the
Right.
mission that they stand for, and I know the responsibility that I own in the position that I stand in.
So I learned from reading the questionnaire that you sent us in advance that you kind of like Christian rap music, and specifically Rare of Breed
Yes.
resonates with you. So
It does.
what is it about Christian rap and Rare of Breed specifically that you really like?
So I found Rare of Breed on TikTok, and
Well, that's where you find everything. Is.
right, and it was kind of a crazy story. I was in the middle of a little bit of a trouble in my marriage. You know, things happen. People, it is what it is, and I was having a little bit of trouble in my personal life and just really mentally myself. And his mission that comes through his music is just so strong in like self-realization and making sure like you're putting God and yourself first, and that you can get through anything with the faith of God and everything else,
Right.
you know. And so it really resonated with me just listening to the lyrics at the time in my life whenever I found him. So then I had seen he put a post on, he had a friend in Wichita, and they were doing a huge like downtown rally thing that he was thinking about taking it. And I was like, oh my gosh, if you do that, I want tickets. I sent an email to the booking page, which I didn't realize was actually him.
Okay.
And my email is signed, you know, with the Emmaus House and director and everything, our information and our website and everything else. And he ended up looking us up and calling the house phone and saying, so instead of you coming to Wichita for your birthday to come to this concert, how about we throw a benefit concert in Garden
That's
City
incredible.
That is
for
awesome.
you guys? And he came all the way from North Carolina with Warren Day, and they threw a benefit concert at Cornerstone for us, and it was an awesome experience. And I was the coolest mom ever, because you know, if I'm listening to it all the time, my kids are too.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm like, I was on the phone with him earlier. They're like, no way. And then I remember one day I left my phone in the car and it rings through, you know, on the radio. And so my kids had answered. And he was just sitting there. I was inside Emmaus House. He's just sitting there talking to him. And like, after that, they were like, we cannot believe that you know him. And I was like, thanks for the bounty points. You're
Yeah.
amazing. But
Well, I could kind of see why you like him just a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing? What is the most rewarding thing about working there? And then on the flip side, what's your biggest challenge that you currently face as an organization?
The biggest challenge that we face is just keeping it up and running. Monetary donations, you know, it costs a lot. So different events that raise money, yes, the can donations and all of that is very nice when we need it and everything else, and we're able to provide. But you know, because we're not just a food pantry, we have the light bill. You know, we have 29 possible people taking showers and doing laundry, and so you have those bills and everything else. It's quite expensive to run. So those monetary donations are really what's very, very important. And then I'd say the best part of it is when I go out in the community and just like people walk up or say, you don't understand how much that you helped, you know, or that Emmaus House helped. It's nice to hear that, or to see the success stories and to see people just thrive after, falling on hard times. And
Sure.
you see them in the community with a good job, and they own their own house now, drive their own car and everything else. So, that's what really makes it worth it.
That has to be the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really what makes it worth it.
Why is it so important to the community to have Emmaus House be supported?
Right.
What all does it do to help the community? And then also talk to us about, how all we can give to Emmaus
Right.
House. If someone wants to give, how can they go about doing it?
Right. I always kind of tell people you can call or stop by. Call 275-2008 or stop by 802 North Fifth Street. We have this huge, beautiful porch. We can sit down and just kind of have a conversation, whether it is that you need help or you want to start volunteering or you want to make a donation. I'm all for the sit-down conversations. I want to get to know people. I want them to know what they're donating towards, what they're giving their time for. And there's a lot of different opportunities. So I also want to know what you're comfortable with. Some people may not be comfortable with being thrown into the food pantry where there's going to be so many different things happening and so many different people. They'd rather just come inside and cook or
Sure.
do some filing or something else more on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to get to know what's going to make you comfortable, because I want you to want to come back.
Sure. Sure.
Whether it be monetary donations or canned food donations or your time, what you're donating towards is so much bigger than any of us. It's an entire community and surrounding communities that you're supporting. Even if you don't have the money or the food and all you can give is your time, you have no idea how many families that you're affecting. You have no idea how many individuals you're affecting and what the work you're doing is going towards, or what your money is going towards. We feed so many families, whether it be through the soup kitchen or the shelter or the food pantry. You're giving back to your community. It stays
Sure.
here.
Western Motor is trying to do our part.
Yes.
Right now. We have a food drive that we just started just after Thanksgiving with our eye on the Christmas distribution.
Yes.
And we're encouraging the community to bring the items that are on the list for the Christmas meal down to us at Western Motor, and then we'll bring it to you once we get everything. And so one more plea to the community, if you feel it in your heart to help out and to help out Emmaus House, bring the food items down to us at Western Motor, and we'll deliver it probably a few days before the distribution. We'll deliver it to help you guys out down at Emmaus House.
Yes, and it's such a wonderful thing. I've already seen it promoted so much, through Facebook and everything, and people are already donating. So if you go to the grocery store and you have a little bit of extra money, even if you can only get a couple cans of green beans or this or that, you don't necessarily have to get the whole list. Get what you can and drop it off and help y'all help us, so
Yeah.
it's a wonderful cause.
Every time we have a guest come on, we give them a little gift, a little edible gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Evidently
Tanner's
you
got-
like hot stuff.
I do.
And so-
hot Cheetos.
Thank you for coming on here.
Thank you.
And there's your bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes,
and
it was great.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to get to know you and hear more about Emmaus House. It's such an important organization, and we're glad that you're doing what you're doing in town, and we're glad to be able to help you.
Great.
And we hope that the Christmas distribution goes great, and that we're able to make sure that everybody in town has a Christmas dinner.
Absolutely, and it's been an honor